Hear this. She's got to repeat it.
Sylvia, what? I'm sorry, you cut out. What did you say?
Moir for iCloud. Would you just send it?
Ted and I are in the studio. We're just sitting here waiting for you. And where are you?
If you could send me the link. I was sitting in the studio. I think I was in the old one.
You're so cute. You know you're so
No,
cute.
I'm not cute. It's fucking annoying as fuck.
Go to the text message below Hollow Bunny because I sent it to you
Yesterday.
Oh, fucking A. Stand by, please.
Okay,
I
bye.
love it when the cold open just reveals itself.
Fucker, Sil.
The Hollow Bunny. And we all feel hollow sometimes.
You're killing it.
Hey, greetings and salutations and welcome to the Hollow Bunny podcast. I'm Kristen Ziman and I am here with my bright-eyed and brilliant co-host Sylvia Moir and our producer Ted Madden. Sil and I are former police chiefs, but the Hollow Bunny podcast is not just for cops. No way. This is for anyone interested in talking about life and leadership, particularly the lessons learned about both. And those lessons fill up the Hollow Bunny metaphorically, of course. So,
Sure
hey
does.
guys, happy podcast day.
Hello, welcome back.
Happy podcast day. Happy to see Ted's face. And I do think it's funny where I am in the world. It is so flippin' early. But you, Kristen, you have a light on. It's already midday where you are. It's still dark here. I need
It
light.
is.
Getting
It's
ready for
almost-
lunch.
It's almost 10 a.m. Yes, I've already written for 2 hours. I've already done my 40-minute cardio. I'm ready for bed.
Right? Hit the Metamucil and get to sleep. Well, I woke up at the ungodly hour and already did my little cardio, walked the dog, got everything done. And you know what's interesting is that morning routine, we talked about that a lot. But Ted apparently has some new habits. And you and I, Kristen Zeman, we went to the World Business Forum. We sat with James Clear, not like well, let's just say we sat with James Clear because
No,
it sounds,
that's what I tell people.
oh, yeah. Yeah, we were sitting about 40 rows back, but we were sitting with him and he was talking about habits. So today we're going to dive into habits, and every Hollow Bunny leadership podcast listener, everybody gets a little bit of Ted. So if you're on the treadmill, make sure you know where the emergency stop is and the handrails. Put your feet on the rails because Ted is coming in hot.
Does Ted know this?
We just told you, Ted, this will be in your evaluation. Your ability to
Okay.
really contribute is important here.
So everybody's talking about the start of their day, and it's gotten cold here, so I still start the day by stepping into my pool, and the water temperature's got to be about 50 now because it's been cold lately. And the motivation lately has been, if it does come up, I don't talk about it all the time, but if it does come up, I tell people, yes, I cold plunge every day in the winter. And if in the summer, I do a cold shower. I basically turn it on and get right in and then let it warm up after about a minute and a half. But every day starts like that. And that's been the motivation is, well, I tell people that I do this every day, so I got to keep doing this every day. And it's awful every day. But it's what we talked about at the beginning of this. This was 2 years ago. We had Lieutenant Cold Plunge on.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years ago. And I think I get some health benefits out of it, but one of the biggest benefits is just doing something hard every day, because we don't do a lot of hard things anymore in this society of ours.
Yeah. And honestly, what you just said really encapsulates what James Clear talked about, is that greatness doesn't come from intensity, although we can argue that that's pretty intense to get into the cold plunge, but it comes from consistency. And you also hit on something that is very important about putting your intentions into the world and why that helps as well. You want to walk your talk. And so you tell people that you cold plunge. And so that is something that you do every day. And that's a big piece of developing those habits and that accountability, either with yourself or you've got accountability and, in external forces, and both work, whichever work for you.
Ted, that is remarkable. You had, and James Clear talked about this. You had a cue, then you had a craving. The cue was Lieutenant Cold Plunge and this idea, and this, huh. And have like a huh bag. Like I go, huh, and I put it in the huh bag. I don't know how to spell it, but whatever. So the cue was Lieutenant Cold Plunge. The craving was for you to lean into something uncomfortable, to discomfort, and perhaps the benefits when you're coming out of this really significant surgery and looking at not only the benefits of discipline, but the benefits to you in terms of health. And then the response was you felt differently. You did something excruciatingly hard. And the reward is people say, holy shit balls, Ted, you're a badass. So the stages of habits: cue, craving, response, reward. You have mastered this. You are an example, Ted. That's bitchin'.
I want to fight back. I want to fight back here. Okay, so
What a
here's
surprise.
what's so interesting about what James Clear says is like to build those habits, cue, craving, response, reward, right? But here's what he says about maintaining habits is that to create a habit, you have to make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Okay, so riddle me this, people. There's nothing attractive. It's not easy to get in that cold plunge. In fact, what Ted was just saying, that is not a thing that gets easier. I will argue that when you start habits, or when you start these patterns, right? Like if you've never exercised before, the hardest thing to do is going to be to take those first steps. But those first steps become easier every single day. And that's the consistency he talks about. But I'm also going to argue that I freaking hate working out. I don't love it, but I do it. So it's not attractive. It's not easy, and it's satisfying when I'm done. And he says that breaking habits, you make it unattractive and difficult. So riddle me this. It's fucking hard to get into that cold plunge. I hate it every single day. I hate it for 3 minutes. I literally I feel the shards of glass. I hate doing cardio. I hate it. So can you riddle me that? But I do it every day because I have to. So it's counterintuitive. So what I'm having here is a competing thought in the thought leaders between James Clear and then of course the comfort crisis. It's like, yeah, it sucks, do it anyway. So let's break that apart for people that think, oh, it's going to be so easy to start this new thing that's hard.
So let me push back on your pushback. Now, I wasn't sitting with, on the couch with James Clear, but did he say easy or did he say simple? Because I'll
Easy.
tell my kids all the time, I said, it's simple, but it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Mm-hmm.
process of getting into that cold plunge every day is a simple thing to do. You step in and you sit down, but it's
Mm.
freaking hard. It's not easy.
That's good.
And I,
It's
I don't know
both.
if I don't know if
In
he's
this
he's making it synonymous, easy and simple.
They're not synonymous.
I love
And
that.
what Kristen's what's being offered, first of all, I'm going to push back on the pushback for the pushback for the pushback. First of all, Kristen said it's not attractive. That's offensive. We've seen the video of Ted getting in the cold plunge. Okay. He's a good looking dude.
I thought we were going
Twist,
to talk about Kristen working out, how
twist,
attractive that is.
twist and steal and sex appeal. I think anybody getting out and moving that makes a commitment that's fucking attractive, right? Okay, so he said the cue is the trigger that initiates the habit. We have demonstrated evidence of that from Ted. Craving is the prediction that compels. The response is the actual habit, and the reward is the result that satisfies the craving. And I don't think, excuse me, froggy throat, I don't think it's in this way. It's easy, but it is simple. It's simple for Ted to really get over to the pool. It is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that Ted was looking at the trajectory of his current position, right? And he wanted to make a change. He demonstrated that change. Took the actions and has the discipline to affect that change. And it's in the Aggregate, Ted, you can report out on how significant that's been for you. We can't.
Dang it. Yeah. You just froze.
We got nothing. I guess we can just keep it rolling because all right. So the notes that I took, I'm gonna have to like change. I'm gonna have to check my notes, fact check myself because the notes that I took is that he said to make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. I love what you just said though about it's simple, but it's not easy. And that's the point of literally everything. It's like it's simple. We know what we're supposed to do. The choice between better one and better two when food is put in front of you or the menu and better one is, the salad with the dressing on the side. And so we're constantly in flux with these choices that we have to make every day. And those choices, better one or better two, we just keep picking the better. And the we know that the better is to get on the treadmill, ride the bike, go for the walk, whatever that may be, right? We know that it's simple, but no, it's not easy. We know what to do. We know we have to strength train, especially for longevity. It's simple, but God, it's not easy. And that's the key to unlocking everything is just doing the things that are not easy to do. But we know we already know the answers to the test.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like I'm a paragon of discipline, right? I'm not. I've gotten a lot better at eating. Far from perfect. And then the cold plunge thing is kind of the one thing I've been really good and disciplined about. That takes 5 minutes at the total, you know. So I think this happens a lot. Like you've got great advice to give. I mean, you, me, in general, people can have some great advice, but it's really hard to follow that yourself through all aspects of your life.
Right. Absolutely. There's another thing that he talked about, and I'm going to check my notes here because I really want to make sure that I I hit on it. Oh, he talked about, okay, so we've got the stages and Sil talked about that, the response and the reward is how you feel after. It's like that's it's simple, but it's not easy. But man, I mean, any workout you've ever done, getting out of that cold plunge, it's so rewarding because it's done. And so here's what he talked about. And I think this can contribute, like you said, you aren't painting yourself as some master of discipline that you get up and you do all the things. Me neither. Every single day it is that, it is the push and pull. It was, I think, Marcus Aurelius, who talked about the idea of the comfort of his warm bed versus getting up and doing hard things in the world. So even ancient philosophers had this problem. And so James Clear, present day, talked about what you do in the first hour of your day is shaped by the first 30 seconds. And I loved this because it's about your cold plunge. It's like you sit there and you think, that's going to suck. That's like the equivalent of the warm bed, in your cozy comforter. But you think, I have to do this thing. So what is the first thing you do within 30 seconds of waking up? Do you open up social media and sit there and scroll on your phone? Or do you just commit the first 30 seconds of your thoughts? And then that sparks the movement. So it's action. And the more that you sit there and think about what you have to do, quite frankly, that's what sends me into complete, utter paralysis where I'm like, oh, I have to go do the cold plunge. Oh, and then I got to get on the treadmill. And I don't want to do it. And so then I'll think, oh, you know what? I'll just, open up my phone and, check my email or whatever. And then by that time, I'm like, okay, now I'm not going to do it. I've got some work to do, so I'm going to go do that. So I don't know if that's like, it's something that people grapple with every day. I don't know anybody unless you're so regimented that you just do it. But no, it's
Right.
a push and pull for me every single day.
Did you read Michael Easter's other book? Well, he's got several, but the Scarcity Brain. Have we talked
I
about
have
that?
it. I have it, and I don't think I've read it yet.
I think it was in that one where he just talks about the natural human condition is to be lazy.
Yeah.
Like we've evolved to be lazy because for those 200,000 or 300,000 years, we had to save our calories, right?
Yeah.
Because eating was difficult. And he talks about eating in the comfort crisis and why we're so obese now is like, we maybe this is in scarcity brain also, but about we need. Hey, Sylvia's back.
Hey,
So
Sil.
we're talking about.
Welcome.
Did you read Scarcity Brain, Sylvia?
No.
Okay, so I'm talking about that, and in that we are hardwired to be lazy, and we are hardwired to eat as much food as we can because for those 200 or 300,000 years, we weren't sure when the next food source was going to come by. And because of that, we would also want to conserve calories. So we are wired to be lazy. And so we're battling against that hardwired brain that we have.
Do you know what's so interesting? I subscribe to Michael Easter's newsletter, and he calls it the 2%. And I didn't understand for a while why he called it the 2%. Do you know why? Okay, so I think it comes from, I'm not sure which book. So it is the percentage of people who research has shown when confronted with an escalator and stairs right next to each other, 2% of people get on that escalator. And I'm not talking anybody who is physically unable to do so. I'm not even talking if you've got luggage. 2% only of the people will take the stairs versus the escalator. That is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. An able-bodied person. And I think of that every single time. Even when I have luggage, I will take the stairs, even if I have to stop in the middle if it's a long one, because I think I'm 52 years old. There will be a day that I can no longer do this. But I think of Michael Easter every time I'm out in the world and I watch people just standing there on the escalator when they could be moving on the stairs. And because we choose, to your point, the lazier route. So yeah, I guess it's innate in us. It's fascinating.
That's an interesting study. I think now that everybody's heard this, we can observe this all the time. I do this with elevator. Like I take the stairs up and down. If it's under 5 stories and I'm not schlepping a big bag, I'll
Mm-hmm.
take the stairs. Plus, elevators are death traps, so there's that too. But that's an interesting thing, Ted, that you're suggesting that we really fight against what is natural for us, right? And therein lies the discipline that you've demonstrated by the habit that you've created, kind of bringing it back to your cold plunge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is. And it's just, I found it so interesting that we are hardwired to conserve energy. We can call that being
Mm-hmm.
lazy, but we're
Hmm.
hardwired to conserve that energy. And that's why this,
Yeah.
the bag of junk food and the Skittles and the colorful stuff, it's like the back of your lizard brain or whatever is saying, I gotta have it, I gotta have it, I gotta have it, because I don't know when the next one's coming. And
Yeah.
nowadays, the next one is in your office drawer. It's, I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Food's everywhere now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to pull two pieces out of what, when we were sitting with James Clear, you said sitting on the couch with, so I'll accept
And I
it.
had my leg draped over his.
You did. You did. I saw it. He said two things that I thought were really, really interesting. One is related to the queue. Now, you have a pool in your backyard. You both have pools in your backyard. So you can just go outside and get in. I am challenged, and we've talked about this. I had the cold plunge in a little walk in shower. I had to put ice in it. I didn't have the thing. And so I
I
was
wouldn't do it.
doing it when it was winter. But then in the summer, I was like, oh my God. And then I had to deflate it and drain it when people came over. Oh, for God's sake.
It
He
makes it
said this,
difficult and hard, not simple and hard,
right?
And
difficult and
not
Right?
hard.
easy.
That's right.
Right. So he said this: examine the environment for what is easily done there and design space to support the habit there. And so you have the space designed. What do you say to people that don't have the space that actually supports the habit? Because he also said that positive habits do not stick in negative environments.
I would say take a cold shower. In the summer, I mean, that's what I got to do. The
You know what
pool
I want to
overnight's
do?
going to be in the 80s, right? So you just step in and do a minute or two in the cold shower.
Okay.
I don't know where the health benefits are with a cold shower, room temperature water, but I do know it's uncomfortable.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's change the example because Not many people relate to the cold plunging. I don't know many people who cold plunge. I mean, I went and purchased a cold plunge, so I have it literally sitting in my backyard, and so that is the reason that I do it, and that's a financial thing too, because I'm like, I paid for this, so I'm going to use it, right? That's my motivation. Let's scrap that, because I don't actually think people can relate to the cold plunge that much, because not many people do it.
Pick a
Let's
different
just
habit.
talk about. Let's pick the easiest thing. Like you need to pick your thing of whatever your goal is. Like you have to create habits that will reach your goal. That's specific to you. But let's pick the easiest thing that everybody can benefit by, because it's just the easiest example to use. It's like working out, just moving,
No.
sticking with the stairs versus the escalator. So here is what I did based on James Clear's whole environment theory. I like to binge watch some television. And as you guys know now, I do enjoy the sporty ball. So I spent $89 and I bought a walking pad. And I plugged it into my living room because it rolls. I can just throw it under the bed if people come over. And I tell myself, like, there it is. I keep it out, and Chris uses it all the time too. And we do this thing where we watch podcasts now because I don't watch cable news. So we'll watch podcasts. So I will jump on that thing on a 40-minute podcast, and I will jump on the walking pad, and there it is. I have to literally walk right past it. This works. So it's low maintenance, and it's affordable.
Yeah.
So anybody who says, "Oh, I can't afford a treadmill," or it's cold where I live, bullshit. Buy an $89 walking pad, and while your ass watches TV instead of sitting on the couch, just walk.
We're going to get a
I love it.
sponsorship. I can feel it. That's a great example. Another one is coffee, right? I loved me some Coffee Mate French vanilla. Like I even traveled with it, right? And I went to, you remember Chief Jen Gonzalez of Napa, Miss Doesn't Make Her Bed, has 9,400,000 things in her inbox unopened. Love every bit of her. She said, "Why do you put that toxin in your body?"
Boom.
I said, "Wait, what?" The cue was the trigger that initiated the habit. I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" She challenged me. I then started drinking black coffee. I eliminated it. It was horrible. The first 2 weeks, I was like, "Oh my God, this is disgusting." The prediction that compelled that for me was that I was going to reduce about 600 calories a week from going into my body, and reduce sugar and reduce, well, deliciousness, but
Did
whatever.
I miss
The
what were you drinking before? I missed this, I think.
Coffee Mate French vanilla creamer by the gallon.
Oh, the creamer that went in your coffee. I got you.
Yeah, thanks, Ted.
Yeah.
And the response was that I started getting used to it. The reward, the result that satisfies the craving for that reduction was I have reduced my overall body weight, and I've reduced my blood glucose. And you know what's crazy is I can just get a cup of coffee anywhere. I'm like, black coffee, I can get it anywhere and it's delicious. And I was like, wow, that was so uncomfortable. And now I can't imagine going back. And so the cue, the trigger, and then the environment I created by taking that stuff out of my house was that was a really interesting, simple habit that I created. Like your $89 walking pad, I can't, how do you not fall off? I mean, I need to know so much
Yeah,
more.
I
But these
have.
are great examples. Cold plunge, great example. And it is this the compound interest of self-improvement. Look,
Jeez, man. Well, we keep going back to Easter's work. It's like no matter what we're talking about. Your coffee example is perfection, because I watch people with, when they order a coffee with their brown sugar frappuccino, and I am like, you are drinking a milkshake. You're drinking a
Yes.
you're drinking
milkshake
a
every
milkshake, your
morning.
pancreas, can you hear it? Listen to their pancreas.
Mm-hmm.
Help me.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah. And I hear, oh,
What?
I can't stand black coffee. So then put a couple drops of stevia or whatever you call it in it, and 0 calorie, like just to sweeten it up a little bit, but stop with and because like,
Are you getting judgy? are
Oh,
we
see,
going
then
into
I
judgy
will now
land?
stop. So I will stop because I get infuriated by
Uh,
this. If people are just like, I can't, I don't like the taste of blood, or I
is
can't lose weight. And it's
You
like, no, you have to commit to the hard things.
you and people say this. They say once you say I can't, or I've had it today, I'm done, then you're done. Or I can't do this,
Mm.
then you
wow.
can't. And you can.
Ooh, you bring up another thing back to James Clear, identity. One of the things that I love that James Clear completely blew my mind about is when they did the studies of people who have stopped smoking. So if I said to you, Ted, Sylvia, would you like a cigarette? And you both tell me, I'm actually trying to quit. No. Instead, your response should be, no, thank you. I do not smoke. See the
It's
Wait,
distinction?
wait. Oh, so it's an identity I am.
That's
Like
right.
I
I do
do
not
not.
smoke. And then he tells the story of the guy who wanted to get healthy and he was very unhealthy. And so the first thing that he did was he drove to the gym every single day. Hold on, he didn't go into the gym. He got up in the morning, he drove his car, he parked his car in the gym parking lot, he stayed there for 5 minutes, and then he left. He did that for a few weeks. So then he drove to the gym. He walked into the gym for 5 minutes. He got on the treadmill and then he got off and he left. And what he wanted to do was become a person who goes to the gym every
That's
single
awesome.
day. And that became his identity. And then the next time he stayed on the treadmill for 10 minutes. And this was over a long period of time. But he said, I go to the gym every day in the same way that Ted says, I cold plunge. And you've got now external forces that hold you responsible to that. But your identity matters. So comes back to the way you talk to yourself. I am a healthy person. And then that now it's the better one or better two. You make the better choice of food. I am a healthy person, so I'm going to drink that black coffee and not my coffee milkshake every morning.
And here's the other thing about that is you can give yourself some grace about behavior.
Without
I
a
am
doubt.
a healthy person. And today I cheated.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make me a cheater, but I cheated. And
Yeah.
I remain a healthy person. And what he talked about that I wrote down and I've thought about repeatedly is he said systems equal winning repeatedly, goals equal winning once. And I went,
oh
Mm-hmm.
wow.
whoa, write
Do that
down
Chew
again.
on that.
Yeah,
Chew on that.
systems equal winning repeatedly. Goals equals winning once.
that's
And
great.
Ted, what you did was you created the habit, you created the system. You are winning repeatedly. You didn't say, oh, I have a goal of getting in the cold plunge. You basically said, I'm a cold plunger. I'm a badass Dallas daddy who's going to be uncomfortable. And this system, you are winning repeatedly because of this habit. And the compound self-interest, cash that shit in, Ted.
Oh,
Cash it
yes.
It's
in. It's
like you were in the room with me
remarkable.
when I said I'm a badass Dallas daddy. You were right there. You quoted me directly.
You watch us on Google Earth. Don't think we're not watching you.
That's getting printed on a mug for you. That's getting printed on a mug.
Badass
I
Dallas
love
daddy.
that though. I love that you just brought that up. The consequences or of your repeated choices, they sneak
Yep.
up on you. So whether those choices are serving you or sabotaging you, and you're right, Sylvia. And we talked about this when you got booted offline. Is that Ted's like, I don't want to paint this picture that I'm some disciplined. Like this is a fight for me every day, and I don't always do it. And that's okay. You don't have to be perfect, but you do need to course correct. Like you can let a day go by, but don't let 2 days go by.
Not
Don't you
two.
dare let 3 days go by, right? Course correct. It's okay to go, yep, you know
Yep.
what? I was lazy. I took that escalator today. Tomorrow, I'm back to the 2%, and I am going to, just like interest, that's going to compound.
Yep. He talked about the aggregation of marginal gains, 1% each day. And over a year, you're 37.78% better, which on public school, I'm like, how can that be only 37.78? But okay, I'm just going to accept his math as truth. But he talked about the aggregation of marginal gains and accruing small improvements over time.
Mm.
And in the same way we talk about pull over and get that small little pebble out of your shoe if it's making you uncomfortable, right? We would talk about accruing these small improvements. And yeah, Ted, I so appreciate that you talked about how freaking hard it is. And therein lies the difficulty. Therein lies the difficulty because you've committed to this device, this environment, this habit that you get to cash in these gains. You may not even recognize you're cashing them in, but my guess is, when you're lifting babies and walking daughters down the aisle and doing all the great shit this world has to offer you, you're, slapping your wife on the fanny. I mean, you won't pull a bicep muscle because you're doing the cold plunge thing. I don't know.
I want to give one more
I,
example because Kristen inspired me on
mhm.
this when we were talking a couple months ago, and she said every hour she gets up for 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and 10 what? Crunches? What was the other?
Yeah, 10 crunchies. Yep. Mhm.
So I call it the office workout now, where maybe it's not as frequently as Kristen, but I've got an office I can shut the door, and for it takes about a minute and a half for me to do 30 push-ups, 30 vertical crunches, which I call them. It's like the elbows out, touch your knee opposite,
Mhm.
and then 20 body squats. And just, and you know how it is. If you're at a desk all day, you get into zombie mode, your body just gets logy, as we learned yesterday, is definitely a
Logie.
word to feel dull and lethargic.
Mhm.
Um, but that's something else I'm doing. And, you're talking about me being an inspiration, which I don't think so, but I wanted to give Kristen credit for that because I do think of her every time I get up to do that little minute and a half thing, because that's all it takes is a minute and a half. And if this,
Aw.
I'm hoping that if people are listening to this and they are taking a few things away, this is another very simple thing. But who wants to get on the ground and do push-ups? Nobody does.
Yeah.
But do it.
Yeah.
You
It
get on the
sucks.
ground, you do
It
the
sucks.
push-ups, you do some body squats, and you are better for
Yep. And that Kristen Ziman made my brother Larry do them in a wine bar in Tiburon recently. I'm like, are you kidding me?
it.
You're
Yes.
really, really,
Listen, man.
Kristen?
Okay,
Larry
I
hit
mean,
it hard, just like you, Ted.
okay, but I may be a freak, but I was also socializing in Tiburon with Sylvia for her birthday and her beautiful tribe of people. And even though we were in a wine bar, my alarm went off on my watch, and I was like, I got to do 10 squats. And doing the sit-ups was a little hard on there, so I just did the squats and I did the push-ups. And yes, brother Larry got to. I mean, I know that your sister-in-law thought he may get a hernia or have a heart attack, but he did it with me all day long, every hour on the hour. So, but that has become my identity. And listen, I think the most important thing that we can take out of this, Ted, is your identity as a badass Dallas daddy. But every action you take is a vote for the type of person that you wish to become.
Word.
That's
Wow.
it.
Mic drop.
And you're a badass Dallas daddy.
Wow. That might be the
Or
title of the
delicious
podcast.
Dallas daddy.
Yeah. That's
It is
But
right.
identity drives your behavior, right? It's like, you're not trying to run a marathon, but you're becoming a runner. You're not trying to write a book. You're becoming, I don't know. It's like all of these things, like I am healthy. I
Yep.
am this. So I don't know. That's my biggest takeaway. And whenever I do that to myself, I'm like, hell yeah, I am. Even if I'm not, but it's a mind fuck. I'm in for
Casting
it.
a vote on the type of person you want to become. Every
Yes.
action casts a vote on the person you want to become.
Boom. Boom. Take the stairs, 2%ers.
Take the stairs.
Right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen. Let's land the plane right there because
Let's
that's
do it.
we can't even top that. We can't. You can't. We can't. Yeah. Listen, friends. If you love what you're doing, if you love what we are doing, show us some love. Subscribe, like, review, spread the word. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. This podcast is produced by the incomparable Dallas Daddy, Ted Madden. And the music you're about to hear was written and performed by my son Jake and his friends Fabe and Zoe. If you don't like what you heard today, move along. You're probably taking the escalator anyway.
When you look inside, what do you find? Are you content to fall behind? When you lose your way and you've lost your why, have courage and get ready to fight the hollow buddy. When the way ahead is covered to fight the hollow buddy. And we all feel hollow sometimes, but the monsters are only in your mind. It's a tough pill to swallow, but if you're brave and kind, you'll be alright. If you fight the hollow buddy. When the challenge ahead scares you to death, you tame the imposter inside instead. To change the world, you've got to start small. It takes a leader to say, I don't know it all. And I know I'm gonna fall, but I'll pick it up and come back stronger. Failing forward and moving onward, doing the hard thing and the right thing, forever fighting the hollow bunny. And we all feel hollow sometimes, but the monsters are only in your mind. It's a tough pill to swallow, but if you're brave and kind, you'll be alright. If you fight the hollow buddy. If you're tough on the outside but empty within, something's gonna crack, you've gotta start again. You're tough on the outside but empty within, something's gonna crack, you've gotta start again. The monsters